Every night, before you close your eyes, your mind begins to wander. It replays moments, conversations, and emotions from the day. This is the moment most people allow their thoughts to drift into negativity without realizing they are programming their subconscious for defeat. The thoughts you allow to rest in your mind at night do not disappear when you sleep. They are planted deep, growing roots that influence how you think, act, and feel the next day. What you say to yourself before sleep matters because your subconscious never sleeps. It listens, absorbs, and creates. When you go to bed thinking about what went wrong, you wake up expecting more things to go wrong. The human brain is wired to seek confirmation of what it believes to be true. And if your final thoughts each night are filled with worry, your mornings will be filled with anxiety. But if your final thoughts are filled with gratitude, faith, and purpose, you wake up with peace, clarity, and power. Your night routine is not just about rest, it's about reprogramming your future. The most successful and fulfilled people understand this secret. Your nighttime declarations are more powerful than your daytime intentions. Because when your conscious mind goes to sleep, your subconscious becomes the worker. It takes the instructions you've given it and begins creating pathways, ideas, and emotions to align your life with those words. That's why affirmations spoken in the quiet of the night carry so much authority. You are literally designing the architecture of your tomorrow with the words you whisper before sleep. Every night is an opportunity to reset the mind, to take control of your inner narrative, to stop letting yesterday's mistakes rent space in your tomorrow's potential. You can't change what happened during the day, but you can control how you end it. And that ending becomes the seed of your next beginning. Instead of ending your day in exhaustion or regret, end it with empowerment. Let your last words be words that lift, strengthen, and renew your soul. Imagine lying in bed, eyes closed, and repeating powerful truths like, I am enough, I am growing, and I am ready for the new day ahead. As simple as it sounds, you are training your mind to align with your destiny. You're choosing peace over panic, faith over fear, and growth over guilt. Every time you affirm something positive, your brain starts creating new neural pathways that support that belief. This is not magic, it's mastery. It's how transformation begins, not with grand action, but with intentional repetition. There's a spiritual law that says what you think about, you bring about. When you close your day with thoughts of lack, fear, or self-doubt, you multiply them. But when you end your day with gratitude, hope, and expectation, you multiply those instead. Your words hold power. They are containers of energy carrying either life or death, growth or decay. When you speak positivity before bed, you are watering the seeds of greatness planted inside you. The mind at night is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant will grow by morning. So if you feed it with anxiety, you will harvest chaos. But if you feed it with calm assurance, faith, and vision, you will harvest direction and strength. That's why the moments before sleep are sacred. It's the time to command your mind rather than let it control you. Choose your thoughts with intention. Speak them aloud. Let your spirit hear your conviction. You must become aware of your inner dialogue because it sets the tone for your life. Many people underestimate how powerful simple phrases can be when repeated consistently. Tomorrow will be better. I am learning from today. I am walking into new opportunities. These aren't empty words. They are reminders of your authority. You are the gatekeeper of your thoughts. And when you close your day in faith, you open your future with strength. This practice doesn't just shape your emotions, it shapes your habits. A peaceful mind at night leads to focused action in the morning. A hopeful heart at night leads to inspired choices in the day. You begin to notice that life doesn't just happen to you, it starts responding to you. Every new day becomes a reflection of what you believed about yourself the night before. That's why your nightly thoughts are not small, they are sacred. So when you prepare to rest, take a deep breath and remind yourself that your mind is the workshop of your destiny. The thoughts you entertain before sleep are blueprints for your reality. If you want to rise with power, you must rest with purpose. The night is not the end of your day. It is the beginning of your transformation. You are not the same person you were yesterday, and that truth alone carries power. Every single day, whether you notice it or not, you are evolving. Growth is not always visible in the mirror, but it's always happening within. You are learning lessons through every conversation, every challenge, and every disappointment. Each day adds a new layer of wisdom, resilience, and perspective. You might not see the progress yet, but the version of you today is already stronger, wiser, and more capable than the version from yesterday. When you tell yourself, I am becoming better every day, you are declaring progress even when it feels invisible. This affirmation reminds your spirit that growth is a process, not a moment. It silences the inner critic that keeps comparing your current position to someone else's highlight reel. You stop chasing perfection and start embracing evolution. Because perfection is a lie. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about showing up with faith even when you don't. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when life stretches you, when you're forced to face something that demands more strength, more patience, and more courage than before. The very challenges that frustrate you are molding you into someone capable of carrying greater blessings. What feels heavy today is building the muscle you'll need tomorrow. When you recognize this truth, you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Becoming better every day doesn't mean you'll always feel motivated or confident. Some days you'll stumble, other days you'll soar. What matters is that you keep showing up. Every sunrise gives you a new chance to practice discipline, forgiveness, and focus. Even on the days that seem ordinary, something sacred is happening. You are being refined. Growth hides in the routines, in the consistency, in the small decisions no one sees. There will be moments when progress feels painfully slow, when you question if anything is changing. But remember, seeds don't grow the day they are planted. They grow in silence under pressure, away from the spotlight. Your transformation is the same. You are being developed in private so you can shine in public. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment is part of the process of becoming. Each day you get a little better at managing your emotions, controlling your focus, and protecting your energy. You begin to notice that what used to trigger you doesn't shake you the same way anymore. The things that once drained you now strengthen your patience. That's progress. That's growth. You are training your mind to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, peace instead of panic. That's the quiet power of daily improvement. When you affirm your growth every night, you prepare your mind to wake up ready for more. You set an internal standard that refuses to stay stuck. You stop identifying with your past mistakes and start identifying with your potential. You are no longer defined by what went wrong, but by what you learned from it. Every lesson you carry becomes a tool for tomorrow. You become unstoppable not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You must understand that improvement is not about comparison, it's about commitment. You are not in competition with anyone else. You are in transformation with yourself. Every day, aim to be a little kinder, a little wiser, a little more disciplined than yesterday. When you live this way, you take back your power because you no longer wait for circumstances to change. You become the change. Even your failures are progress when you learn from them. Mistakes don't define you, they refine you. Every wrong turn teaches you something about direction. Every setback teaches you something about endurance. Every closed door teaches you something about faith. When you realize that every day brings you closer to your purpose, you start to see that life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. So when you tell yourself, I am becoming better every day, you're not describing a dream, you're declaring a truth. You are becoming stronger in silence, wiser through experience, and more confident through persistence. You are building momentum, shaping character, and creating a life that reflects growth instead of regret. Each day you rise, you are not just moving forward. You are becoming the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Every night before sleep, the mind replays moments that often carry the weight of guilt, anger, or disappointment. You think about what you said, what someone did, or what should have happened differently. These thoughts can quietly harden into resentment and regret, building invisible chains around your peace. Forgiveness, both for yourself and for others, is not something you do once. It's something you practice daily. Because without it, your heart becomes heavy and your spirit can't rest. The energy you carry into your sleep determines the freedom you wake up with in the morning. When you forgive, you are not excusing what happened. You are releasing what's holding you. You are freeing your mind from replaying the same pain that keeps you trapped in a loop. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to hurt. It does not serve you, it drains you. Forgiveness is a decision to prioritize your peace over your pride, your healing over your history. When you tell yourself, I forgive myself and others, you are choosing freedom over bitterness. Many people struggle to forgive because they believe forgiveness means forgetting or accepting the wrong. But forgiveness is not about memory, it's about mastery. It's about mastering your emotions enough to say, this will no longer control me. The pain might have been real, but so is your power to rise above it. You cannot heal while still holding on to the hurt. Forgiveness opens the door for peace to enter, and peace is where your strength lies. Forgiving yourself is equally important. There are things you've done, words you've said, and moments you wish you could undo. But holding yourself hostage to your past mistakes keeps you from walking into your purpose. You are human, and humans learn through failure. Each mistake was a lesson in disguise, shaping your character, building your wisdom, and revealing your resilience. Self-forgiveness is not about ignoring what you've done. It's about accepting it, learning from it, and deciding not to repeat it. When you forgive others, you are releasing their control over your emotions. When you forgive yourself, you are releasing your own control over your potential. Forgiveness removes the weight that keeps you from rising higher. You cannot reach your next level while dragging the past behind you. The emotional baggage of anger and guilt is too heavy for a soul designed to soar. When you let go, you make room for peace, creativity, and joy to flow again. Forgiveness doesn't happen instantly. It happens in moments. When you choose not to speak negatively about someone who hurt you, when you choose to see yourself with compassion instead of criticism, when you choose to stop revisiting an old wound, each of those moments builds emotional strength. It's a process of peeling back layers of pain until all that's left is peace. Every time you choose forgiveness, you reclaim a part of your energy that was once tied to the past. There's also a spiritual dimension to forgiveness. When you forgive, you align yourself with grace. You create a flow of mercy that first touches others, then returns to you. Life always mirrors what you release. If you hold on to judgment, judgment will meet you. If you release mercy, mercy will meet you. Forgiveness is a spiritual principle that multiplies freedom. The more you forgive, the lighter your soul becomes. Each night as you reflect on your day, think of where forgiveness is needed. Ask yourself, whom am I still holding in my heart with resentment? What mistake am I still punishing myself for? Speak freedom into that space. Say it out loud. A let go. I choose peace. Your mind believes what it hears repeatedly, and when you declare forgiveness, you begin to rewire your emotional patterns. Over time, pain loses its grip, and peace becomes your new default. It takes strength to forgive because forgiveness requires vulnerability. It means choosing love when anger feels easier, choosing understanding when blame feels safer. But that's where true power lies, not in control, but in release. The more you release, the more energy you regain to focus on your future instead of reliving your past. Forgiveness is how you close old doors and open new ones. When you lay your head on your pillow at night, you must understand that forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. It's the gift you give yourself so you can rest deeply, dream freely, and rise without emotional baggage. When your heart is clear, your vision becomes sharp. You begin to see your life from a higher perspective, free from the fog of resentment. You step into a space where peace becomes your rhythm and healing becomes your habit. Every night before you close your eyes, you must remind yourself that you are worthy of success, not because of what you've achieved or how much you've accomplished, but because of who you are. Worthiness is not earned, it is inherent. Too many people go through life believing that success belongs to someone else, someone smarter, luckier, or more deserving. They carry silent doubt that whispers, maybe I'm not enough. But the truth is, you were born with divine purpose, and that purpose carries the right to prosper. You don't need permission to succeed, you need belief. When you say to yourself, I am worthy of success, you are rejecting every lie that life has ever told you about limitation. You are canceling every negative word spoken over you every moment you were made to feel small. You are taking back ownership of your destiny. Success is not arrogance, it's alignment. When your mindset aligns with your purpose, success becomes the natural result. It is not something you chase, it is something you attract by becoming the person capable of holding it. So many people struggle with worthiness because they tie their value to performance. They think if they work harder, achieve more, or please everyone, they will finally feel deserving. But worthiness is not earned through exhaustion. It is recognized through awareness. You don't have to prove yourself to the world, you simply have to remember who you are. When you see yourself as valuable, life begins to mirror that belief through opportunity, respect, and abundance. Success is not only about money or material gain, it's about peace, fulfillment, and impact. When you believe you are worthy, you stop settling for less than what you're called to have. You stop accepting relationships that drain you, jobs that belittle you, and habits that sabotage your growth. You start walking differently, talking differently, thinking differently, because worthiness shifts your posture. It gives you the confidence to say no to what doesn't serve your purpose, and yes to what aligns with your vision. Every night is a chance to reaffirm that belief. When you tell yourself you are worthy, you are programming your subconscious mind to seek evidence of that truth. You begin to notice new opportunities, attract better people, and make bolder decisions. You stop moving through life from a place of fear and start moving from a place of faith. The world around you changes because the world within you has changed. That's the power of a renewed mindset. You are not defined by your past mistakes or missed chances. Worthiness is not canceled by failure. Every setback you've faced was part of your preparation, not your punishment. The lessons you've learned along the way are proof that you've earned wisdom, not shame. When you start viewing your scars as signs of survival rather than symbols of failure, you step into a new level of strength. You realize that success is not about avoiding pain. It's about transforming it into purpose. You must also understand that worthiness requires stewardship. When you believe you deserve success, you take care of what you already have. Gratitude becomes your fuel. You handle your time, your money, your relationships, and your gifts with intention, because you know that everything you have now is a reflection of how you will handle more. Worthiness is not passive, it is active faith in motion. It says, I'm ready to receive, and I'm prepared to handle what comes next. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep back in, whispering that you're not good enough or that your dreams are too big. In those moments, you must silence that voice with truth. Speak to yourself with authority. Say, I am called for this. I am capable of this. I am deserving of this. Those aren't just words. They are declarations that shift your energy. The more you repeat them, the more your spirit begins to believe, and when belief takes root, confidence follows. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary started by believing they were worthy of it. Before success manifests externally, it must first exist internally. The world responds to the way you see yourself. If you see yourself as undeserving, opportunities will pass you by. But if you see yourself as worthy, you will recognize opportunities even in the smallest details. You become magnetic to the life you were meant to live. When you go to sleep with the conviction that you are worthy of success, you awaken with a different energy. You stop waiting for validation from others because you've already validated yourself. You understand that worthiness is not about pride, it's about purpose. You don't chase approval anymore, you chase alignment. You know that your existence alone is proof that you are meant for greatness, and no one can take that truth from you. When you tell yourself, I walk in divine alignment, you are declaring that your life is not random. Every experience, every encounter, every delay, and every open door has purpose. There is a greater plan unfolding even when you can't see it clearly. Walking in divine alignment means trusting that there is order in what feels like chaos, meaning in what seems like confusion, and direction even when the path looks uncertain. It's the awareness that you are being guided by something higher, something wiser, something that sees the entire picture while you only see one piece. Divine alignment is not about perfection or control, it's about surrender. It's the understanding that you don't have to force outcomes or chase validation. You simply move with faith, knowing that when the time is right, the right doors will open. It's releasing the anxiety of how and resting in the confidence of when. Because timing is divine, and when you trust divine timing, you stop rushing through life and start flowing with it. That flow brings peace, clarity, and purpose that human effort alone can't produce. Sometimes alignment doesn't feel like alignment. It feels like waiting. It feels like being stuck. It feels like silence when you're desperate for answers. But those moments are not signs of disconnection. They are signs of preparation. When the path seems slow, it's because you're being positioned. Something in you is being strengthened, refined, or removed so that when the door opens, you are ready to walk through it. Patience in the process is proof of your trust in divine direction. Walking in divine alignment also means understanding that rejection is not failure. Every closed door is protection. Sometimes what you think you want is smaller than what's meant for you, and divine alignment will not allow you to settle. You may cry over missed opportunities or broken plans, not realizing that something far greater is being built behind the scenes. When you live in alignment, you learn to thank God for both the yes and the no, because both are answers that serve your destiny. Each night, when you remind yourself that you are in divine alignment, you are reaffirming that your steps are guided. You stop questioning every twist and turn and start embracing them as part of your divine curriculum. Even detours carry direction. The people who enter your life, the lessons you learn, and the challenges you face are all shaping you for what's next. Nothing is wasted in alignment. Every experience adds value to your evolution. Divine alignment is also about inner guidance. It's the quiet voice inside that nudges you when something feels right or wrong. The more you listen to that voice, the clearer it becomes. But when you ignore it, life becomes noisy and confusing. Each night, take a moment to reconnect with that inner wisdom. Reflect on your day and ask yourself where you felt peace and where you felt resistance. Peace is your compass. It always points you toward alignment. You must also understand that divine alignment requires obedience. When you receive a prompting to move, act, or let go, do it, even if it doesn't make sense. Your obedience creates momentum. Every small act of faith activates something larger. Many people miss their breakthrough because they wait for full understanding before they move. But alignment doesn't work that way. You move first, then clarity follows. Faith always precedes sight. When you live aligned with your purpose, distractions lose their power. You no longer chase what's popular or what looks easy because you know what's meant for you cannot miss you. Alignment brings focus. You start saying no to things that don't serve your mission, no to people who drain your energy, and no to opportunities that pull you off your path. You become intentional about your time, your relationships, and your vision because you understand that divine purpose requires divine focus. Sometimes divine alignment will isolate you. There will be seasons when you feel like you're walking alone, when people don't understand your vision or your choices. That's because alignment often separates you from distractions so you can hear direction more clearly. Solitude isn't punishment, it's positioning. It's in the quiet seasons that you grow roots deep enough to sustain the fruit that's coming. Those moments of isolation are preparation for elevation. Every night before you sleep, remind yourself that your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Even when things seem uncertain, you are being led. You are not lost. You are being guided through alignment that cannot fail. Trust the process. Trust the pauses. Trust the redirections. Everything is happening for your highest good, and when the timing aligns, everything that once didn't make sense will suddenly fall into place. When you remind yourself, I am equipped to handle anything that comes my way, you activate an inner strength that's always been there, but often forgotten. Life doesn't test you to break you, it tests you to reveal what's inside you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to uncover your resilience, to sharpen your faith, and to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you realize. You were not created to crumble under pressure. You were created to rise through it. Most people underestimate their strength because they focus on what they lack instead of what they possess. They forget how many storms they've already survived, how many moments they thought would end them, but didn't. Each struggle you've overcome is proof that you're built to endure. You've faced pain and still found peace, faced loss and still found purpose, faced fear and still took steps forward. That's evidence of power. You may not have chosen every battle, but every battle has chosen you for a reason, to bring out the warrior within. Being equipped doesn't mean life will be easy. It means you've been given the tools to navigate whatever comes your way. Wisdom, patience, faith. and persistence are your armor. They may not always feel visible, but they are always accessible. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to trust that the strength for tomorrow will show up when tomorrow comes. The same grace that carried you through the last trial will carry you through the next one. Sometimes strength doesn't look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like showing up when you feel unsure, speaking faith when you feel fear, and continuing to move even when the path is unclear. That's real strength, the kind that grows in silence. It's not about appearing strong to others. It's about staying committed to your purpose, even when no one is watching. When you remind yourself that you are equipped, you silence the voice of doubt that says you're not ready. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start realizing that you were made for this moment. Life will always bring seasons of uncertainty, but uncertainty is not your enemy. It's your classroom. Every obstacle teaches you a new skill, a new lesson, or a new level of discipline. You're being trained for greater things, and each experience adds to your toolkit. The strength you gain today will become the wisdom you use tomorrow. What feels like resistance now is only building the muscle you'll need for your next victory. You may bend, but you won't break. Fear tries to convince you that you're powerless, but fear only wins when you forget your authority. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of response. You decide how to interpret what happens to you. When life gets difficult, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this preparing me for? Because there's purpose behind every pressure. Each challenge is an invitation to rise higher, think deeper, and act stronger. You have the spiritual capacity to turn adversity into advancement. Even in your weakest moments, you are not without resources. Strength doesn't come only from what you see, it comes from what you believe. The mind is a powerful engine. When you fill it with conviction, it can carry you through any storm. Speak over yourself, I am capable. I am prepared. I am built for this. Those words are not empty. They are commands to your spirit, reminders that you are more than your circumstances. The moment you speak strength, strength begins to rise within you. It's easy to feel strong when everything is going right, but true power is revealed when life is uncertain. When you stand firm in the face of difficulty, you show the world that your stability doesn't depend on the situation. It depends on your belief. You don't have to control every outcome to walk in confidence. You just have to know that no matter what the outcome is, you will rise again. Because being equipped means that even in loss, you find lessons. Even in failure, you find fire. You must learn to trust your preparation. Every trial, every disappointment, every delay